Did you really just chew an entire Ricola?
Stuck in my teeth.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm recording this.
Why?
Because this is great fucking content. And I think you should lead us in now.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is
Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Here we are again. Another episode of Can You Figure Out What's in My Mouth?
It sounds like a show, like a game show for dogs. What do you have? Can you figure out what's in my something I'm not supposed to have?
So fucking good. How's everybody doing? Oh, man. I hope everybody's doing good out there. Today's episode is a banter episode.
With a little more of a theme.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a theme. But, you know, we have stuff to be, obviously we have stuff to talk about. Otherwise, we wouldn't be recording this. Well, really quick before we get into like kind of our topics and whatnot. I mean, let's do it. What anything new you've been playing? You've been watching? You've been?
Yeah, I have exciting news. Tommy has officially finished his first Resident Evil game.
Oh, you beat Resident Evil 3!
I did. And
That was a very high pitched squeal.
you're excited. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting news.
It's a fun game. Fun game.
Very fun. Yeah, I was actually. And yes, I played unassisted. I got nothing to prove to anyone.
Dude, was it you bringing it up? I don't know. Maybe I read something or heard something. I don't know. It's like all these like older video game people that are like, yeah, no, I played it unassisted because like they got kids and shit.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it. There's like it's like I just wanted to play the story.
Yeah,
I wanted to know what was going on. You know,
it's like I mean when I was 17 or like in my early 20s, people were like, yeah, I played on easy. I'm like, you damn fucking nerd. You're not experiencing the real game.
You're not a real gamer.
What kind of gamer do you call yourself? You're on easy? I play on Nightmare and hate it.
and I hate every minute of it. My life is a living hell. And I choose it to be. It was
fucking elitist gamers, god damn it.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna get Village now, especially
I still want to get keep going.
I just went. Finally, I did watched video comparisons from the PS4, PS5.
Oh yeah,
and it really doesn't.
It's probably just more like loading screens.
It's probably like just like what is it called? Life. What is it called?
Life
hacks? No, that's not what I'm thinking.
Frame rates?
Yeah, no, but God, there's a term for it. God, I'm totally blinking. It just makes everything easier, you know. Quality of life.
Quality of life.
Yeah, like quality of life changes. You never heard that like with video games? Like the
Not
programmer.
for video games.
Oh yeah, like your programs will just put
but
like
definitely
a little...
in rehab. Sorry.
Well, they also use it in like video game journalism. You know, they add quality of life, like things like the remake will have autosave, or you know, like these.
I see.
I feel like the PS5 will just have things that just make it run better, but I really want to play
like a better machine.
Yeah, it's just a better machine. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, Nemesis was kind of annoying. But...
Yeah, they definitely leaned into the Nemesis chasing you thing pretty hardcore.
Really hard. And it's like it was pointed out to me too. I was like, what why number one, why do you keep believing that this thing is actually dead? And like secondly, I forgot, especially because it's a remake of such an old game. I forgot about the multiple boss battle thing.
Oh, yeah.
The different, like we were talking about Frieza's final form.
This isn't even my final form.
Yeah, like I completely forgot that was like a fucking thing that they did.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta fight their like, humanoid-ish thing, and then you gotta fight their demigod, and then you gotta fight their god form, and then you gotta fight their ultra god, demigod, dead god form.
Yeah, like
it's like Super Saiyan God mode, Final Focus, Flash, Vegeta mode.
Yeah. And it was just like Nemesis was just like a really stark difference to Mr. X.
Yeah, yeah.
Just how fast and aggressive he was.
Yeah, because Mr. X is like, well, I mean, he's strangely fast, Mr. X.
I gotta finish that one again.
Also, his name's not Mr. X. I keep forgetting what his real name. I think his real name is Tyrant. But everyone like on the internet.
Yeah. I think Tyrant.
I just wanted like,
Titan.
yeah, I think it's Tyrant just to like clear up for people that are like, well, who the fuck is Mr. X? We're not talking about X-Files. We're talking about Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
For those that may not know the name stuff. I just realized you're wearing a Wicked, a musical T-shirt.
Defying gravity.
What? You don't like musicals? Do you like? Oh, I guess you really enjoyed that. Wait, did you?
No, I've never seen it.
Wait, so where?
It's a comfy sweater, and it's cute. It's got the witch on it and little broom. I think it's cute.
Poser. Sorry.
I've heard I'd really like Wicked.
You would, yeah.
I really like just the production of it. I would like.
Oh yeah.
I would dig it, but also the tickets are fucking expensive.
Oh yeah, it's fucking like high-end Broadway theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that was a tangent.
No, because I sent Fallon and her friends to it.
Yeah.
And I wanted like a souvenir of it.
I wanted a souvenir of a thing that I've never seen.
Yeah. Oh, it actually says defying gravity. I had no idea what it said.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't stare at myself in the mirror. Yeah. Anyways,
God damn it.
you? How about you?
Did we talk about me finishing Ori and the Will of the Wisps?
We talked about it.
Oh, but,
very quick. You were just like, you texted me, you're like, yeah, I finally beat it. And I'm
well,
like,
I mean, I'll give an announcement on this. It's my final week of working at Big Mario's Pizza Place. So that kind of puts a stamp on like where we're recording this for people who listen to it later on. And they are working me really hard right now, which is really rough. So I haven't really done much since I came back from my vacation.
Yeah, but I guess you can get some good money for your...
My soul's not worth cash. Anywho, but yeah, no, I finished Ori kind of when I was in Spokane, but I started playing the first one, and I hope if you can, like now that you've taken your break, if you can go back and finish Will of the Wisps, I really think you're gonna like the ending, and I don't want to spoil it.
I know, but it's that fucking spider.
Like I said, I'll be Big Brother for you, and I will go and beat it.
I was almost so close. So long way.
Well, yeah, you technically did beat it. The game crashed.
Yeah. So just so like people are aware, as you go through this story, you know, there's boss battles. You're trying to collect these like spirits of the forest, and so people know one of them is a big ass spider creature, who's hard as fuck. I don't know what it is about her. I can't wrap my head around her like movements, but it goes in like 3 parts basically of her battle. I got to the very last segment with a little bit of life left, about to beat her, and my game crashed. And I think everyone that's ever played a video game that has had that happen, that makes you go, well, I'm not picking up this for a month, because that was incredibly annoying. And I started playing Karen to like get my anger out.
How many of the bosses have you gone through?
The spider's the last one.
So you already beat Kolok.
Yeah.
Which he was the easiest of them, really.
Yeah, he was a weird boss battle.
Yeah,
his chase scene was hard.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you don't even know hard chase scene yet. The final chase scene is fucking rough.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Get really good about jumping into the sand, digging through like
the drill thing,
jumping up into it. Yeah. Get really good at that, and also get really good about shooting out of it.
Oh, pew! Yeah. We're getting really uber specific about the mechanics on there.
I beat the Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is technically the second one, and I started playing the first one in the Blind Forest, and it's fun. It's strangely more challenging. Like it's just like it's like the mechanics are just as smoothish and whatnot. Your attack isn't a little whip thing, you know, like what Ori has in this one,
like a light blade.
Yeah, instead your attack is like a little like orb that floats around you, and then like you upgrade it to like have it like shoot more like little like light balls out of it, so it has like a range.
Oh, so do you control it?
You don't really control it's just kind of floating around you, and you like hit Y for attack, and then like little like balls come out of it to attack things that are near you.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're not really engaging them.
You're still
fighting
like,
mechanic.
You're still like growing up towards the enemy, and you're still avoiding their attacks. But as opposed to you like having like a melee weapon that is in your hand, it's like a melee weapon that floats around you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's like you kind of have like an aura that you shoot out.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like like Goku shooting his ki. Why are we going? My brain is Dragon Ball Z.
I went to Magneto when he breaks out of the prison.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
when he has the little
pulls the iron out of the guy's face.
God, that was a cool scene.
That is a great scene.
I forgot about that.
That's in the second one, isn't it?
That's the second one.
Yep.
Yeah, when they went real dark.
The one that actually was good.
Yeah, they leaned into the dark side of X-Men really hard. Dude, we should totally review that.
Actually, yeah. I mean, maybe just do the entire series as a whole. Maybe like the first three. You know?
Yeah, like the original three.
Oh, that'd be interesting to do that, and then like also do Spider-Man first three.
Like with Toby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do like
and then Blade.
Yeah, we should do old school Marvel.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Hey everybody, who's on board? Let us know.
Yeah.
Message us as soon as you hear this. If you like it, tell us now.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We should do old school Marvel.
Hell yeah!
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll
before the MCU. Like
yeah, exactly. Oh, and then we could like all right. Well, all right. Let's not talk about the future.
Okay. We just got excited.
But yeah. So Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a little bit harder and. Well, it's like what's also kind of harder about it is like the obstacles and like the like those like the chase scenes that you were doing they're just a little bit more difficult to like overcome type thing, and like a lot more like little mazes and like a lot more like jumping through like areas that are just super spiked and like juggling your like Ori around in his like bouncing off things and stuff. Yeah. So I think it's fun. It is definitely a little more challenging, and the bosses are a little bit more challenging, I think. It took me a little bit. It's a little bit slower of a beginning to get like extra life to like survive a lot more stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be terrible at that game.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's training for Metroid. It's all training.
How dreadful.
All right, moving forward.
Yeah.
All right, so today we kind of have like a horror themed like stuff that we want to talk about. So American Horror Stories has just recently come out, and Netflix also just released its fun trilogy of Fear Street.
Yes. So where do you want to start?
Let's do American Horror Stories first, because I think that might be a little bit shorter. I don't know. Also, like, do you want to tell them about the 40-minute video we watched?
Oh yeah. So yeah.
I forget. I wish we can you like who like made the video, because they were actually kind of like
I mean, if you just
YouTuber video thing.
Google or YouTube American Horror Story complete timeline.
Yeah.
Somebody made a 40-minute video of going from like
Chronologically?
Yeah, chronologically. Thank you.
Jeez.
Chronologically,
like, are you having a stroke?
Chronologically, with the storyline and lore of American Horror Story from start to finish, and it was really great, but it was the most confusing, convoluted shit.
It's like it starts because in the 16th century, whatever, with Roanoke, talking about the original like colonists of Roanoke.
Yeah, that's where it like starts off.
Because that's where the beginning of like the lore of American Horror Story begins.
Yeah.
But then so he starts going through, and then like you get about halfway through the video, and then you're like, wait, which character is Sarah Paulson playing right now in this timeline?
And that's why it gets confusing.
And Jessica Lange is like so many different people, and like she like comes back and forth. It's Kathy Bates. It's like
yeah, that's what like makes it confusing, because all these actors play so many different characters. You're like, so wait, that's the pig lady. No, that's the wit. No, that's the vampire. I don't remember.
Yeah,
it's one of those. Like,
yeah.
It was really interesting. So yeah, well, we did that too because there was an announcement also of a lot of American Horror Story is planned on coming out. I know that just recently they had a shutdown.
Yeah. Well, I saw that. What I shared with you today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like a quick. They're filming. Season 10 is still in like production. The second half of it, I should say. And apparently they just had to shut down today because of a COVID-19 case. I thought there was going to be a little more juicy gossip when I sent you that text or that message. And I was like, oh, it's just COVID-19, which also is weird for like we've gotten to the point where it's like, oh, it's just a COVID-19 case.
That's yeah.
It's like,
that
okay.
Right. Oh, yeah.
They'll get back to it soon.
They'll get back to it when they can. But yeah, the American Horror Stories is kind of like a spin-off anthology thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who, for those that haven't watched it, because even I didn't realize they were making more until
I brought it up, and then it just like happened to be like, oh, this is like coming out tomorrow.
Yeah,
type
like we
thing.
just like stumbled upon it. I was like, oh, I hadn't heard anything about a new American Horror Story, and I love American Horror Story, but yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a kind of a weird departure from what they're usually doing because it's an anthology series.
Yeah, I mean, what I feel like what they're just doing is like building more on the lore and the stories of like this like specific seasons or characters and stuff. So okay, so really quick, can we do it? Can we name all 10 seasons? Like starting with Murder House.
Oh, like from one. Okay, sure. Let's try.
You want to try? All right.
Yeah.
So season 1's Murder House. Season 2 is Asylum. Season 3 is Coven. Yeah,
Coven. Yes.
Coven.
Season 4 is Freak Show.
Season 5 is Hotel.
Mm.
Season 5 is Hotel.
Okay.
Because season 6 is Roanoke.
Okay. Then 7 is Cult.
8 is Apocalypse. And 9 is 1984.
Oh, I forgot about 1984.
Boom! Oh my god, I fucking owned that.
Totally forgot about 84. I totally forgot about
You know
that.
What's weird is
I like that one too.
80. So one thing that's interesting about American Horror Story is like I feel like as we were talking about this, like they set up this like entire premise of something, and then like halfway through the season or like maybe towards the end of the season, it kind of becomes something completely different. You know, it starts off as like it's going to be horror and it's going to be scary and it's kind of like that and it's tense, and then it kind of switches to like this weird romanticized idea of like what the theme of whatever is, and like the character. I mean, I like that the characters are getting fully flushed out and they have full arcs, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then like it just like especially in 1984, how it switched to. Like it wasn't, I don't know, just it changed out of like being, it wasn't that like they leaned so hard like it's gonna be like the slasher films, and then it just turned into,
well, it went from
Ramirez is just like go, I don't know, like how, like, you know what I mean, you know what I'm trying to say?
Well, it started off as like slasher film, and then it turned into haunted camp.
Yeah,
but it's also really, I think they do this really interesting thing where you find yourself really caring about these murderous sociopaths.
Yeah, no,
which is really
like
interesting.
I said, like, yeah.
Which is an interesting thing that they're able to do. That's kind of a unique skill.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, going back to American Horror Stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, these first 2 episodes that they just released is about Murder House, and just kind of like continuation of like the people that get trapped in Murder House.
Yeah.
And like Murder House is just kind of like that's the character, you know, that's the character that they wanted to explore more with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because it's like it's an Amityville horror thing. It's an entity of pure evil.
Yeah, it's The Shining, the hotel in The Shining. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. It's almost like a living creature almost.
Rose red.
Okay.
Did I Ricola come back up? Like,
I don't know. But yeah, but it also like it now like these first 2 episodes follow the Rubber Woman, not the Rubber Man, if you guys remember.
Well, because they kind of like have, I guess like they're kind of like putting like the rubber suit itself as kind of like the possessed thing in a weird. I guess it's like connected to the house. I forget how did what is the history behind the rubber suit?
It's
actually?
the kid wore it.
Well, yeah, I know that, but like, how did it get into the house? Like, who made it?
I don't remember now. But I was confused because I was like, is that what's his name? Chanting. What's his name? Do you remember that character's name?
Oh, wait, what?
The kid, the kid, the one that shot up his school with the skull.
Oh, like what that character's name? No, I don't remember his name.
That kid.
That was a journey. Well, Evan Peters plays him.
Yeah, so Evan Peters' character in that, he wore the suit, and I was kind of confused. I'm like, so is this supposed to be Evan Peters? Because he's huge. And then I came to the realization, maybe that is the house's human entity to interact with people.
Okay, yeah.
That's like what it personifies as to murder people, specifically.
Wait, I think I'm remembering something about the suit. Didn't like one of the couples that lived there, they brought the suit in because then
was it
Zachary Quinto and his husband? Yeah,
that sounds right.
Because there's some, if I remember, I'm remembering slightly a little bit about them. Like talking about getting something made, or maybe they just found it and they're like, oh, maybe you got. Man, I asked a question that we don't have an answer for, kind of. So
I don't. Yeah, but it's been so many years since I watched, and I hated House.
Really?
I really didn't like House. I get really annoyed with infidelity topic only because I think it gets really repetitive and really annoying.
I mean, like it's a little overdone type thing.
Yeah, I think it's overdone, and then also it became like for especially Murder House, it just became such the focus. And I get that was the idea, but it just annoyed me. I was like, I don't care about this couple. I don't care that he's a professor sleeping with his student. I don't.
When
fucking
did you
care.
get into American Horror Story?
Like when I was like, I love this show.
Yeah,
Hotel.
Well, I guess like better way to phrase that is how many seasons had been out when you got into it?
Hotel.
Okay, so like, were you aware of its existence type thing?
Yeah, like I was super stoked and I watched Murder House.
Okay, so when it came out, you were like, I'm excited for this idea of the show.
And then I watched Asylum.
Okay.
And then I started watching Coven, and then I fell off. And then I watched Hotel, and then I went back and watched the other.
And then, so then you just didn't even care for Freak Show.
The Freak Show was okay. No, I finished it.
I mean, but I'm saying like you
but
dropped off Coven,
by the
and
time
then Hotel brought you back in.
Yeah, like by the time Freak Show came out, I didn't care. I was like, I don't care about this anymore. And then attempted to watch Roanoke and couldn't get into it.
Yeah, no, I'm like the only person in the world that liked Roanoke.
Dude, well, just so you guys know too, when we were watching the timeline like video on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So many people die in Roanoke.
Oh yeah,
it's like the top body count for American Horror Story, like on-screen deaths. Yeah. It's like
Hamlet, dude. Everybody dies.
It's ridiculous.
Literally everybody dies.
I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of people. Because I mean, all the episodes have a lot of dead people in it, but I'm just thinking on-screen deaths seemed like a lot.
It's pretty bloody.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's crazy.
You got to kill all those goddamn settlers.
Yeah,
damn
over and over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. I didn't think Stories was like great. I enjoyed it, but I was kind of like, I'm wondering if this is gonna screw them over though. If Stories is like, if they can make a complete theory in just like 2 episodes of a season, because that's like a problem with like it becomes so convoluted and so many twists and turns that it gets really like kind of jumbled in your head. So I'm like wondering if this will be like a better formula for them, just like quick, short, boom, get it out of the way.
I mean, I think what this is just kind of turning into is like there's going to be the continuation of like each season with like a theme and whatnot, you know. But like these like anthologies, these stories, it's kind of like a little vignette of like the lore of the of stuff and whatnot, you know.
Yeah,
it's like when you buy the graphic novel or like the omnibus of like an entire like series of something for comic books, and then you have just like the little spinoff that, you know, the 10-page comic, you know, that just is like a little bit extra that you don't need it for the main story. But it's just kind of like, and here's like a little bit of like
flush it out a little bit.
It's like here's a little bit of like what here's a little bit of what Robin was doing when you know he went off to the other city. You know, that isn't important part of like the main storyline of what's happening in Gotham. You know.
Yeah, kind of like what they did with Death in the Family.
Yeah. But I mean, you kind of need to read all of that to like. I mean.
You need to read certain characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you need to read Harley Quinn's, then you need to read Joker's,
and you need to read Batman's. But yeah, Nightwing's.
Yeah, and then there's
Nightwing's is like actually kind of completed through all of those.
Yeah, I mean, then there's like Red Robin, and yeah, interesting. That's an interesting way to think of it. But yeah, I mean, I really loved Matt Bromner. I don't know what his husband's name was, but Matt Bromner and another gentleman play a married couple. And Matt Bromner I found really funny because he was just like really grounded in all these really ridiculous situations.
And he's also like he's like experiencing all this paranormal stuff and he's believing it.
Yeah.
But he's also like, why? Like, okay, I guess we just gotta like face this stuff.
Yeah, he just handles it really well. I do like that whole I wish that woman kept me. Oh, so do we. Yeah. Honey, I'm so sorry. I went dark. I'm sorry. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. He just had like a couple lines in there that were he just executed really well. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm just kind of curious to see. I mean, yeah, no,
it's literally just gonna it's just gonna be like popcorn feed. You know, you're not gonna get super invested. It's like I don't think there's gonna be big twists. There's gonna be turns. It's just gonna be like, oh, so that's just like a little bit like, so it's like, okay, so that's what happened. That's where Murder House went after we left.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I think it's gonna be like, I really liked episode 3, didn't care for 4. I really liked episode 6.
Yeah.
7 was garbage. I think that's how it's
so
gonna go.
it's kind of in another way, like it'll be like oh god, Black Mirror,
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There's some episodes of Black Mirror that are really great, and some of them are like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good way of putting it. It's gonna be a horror Black Mirror. I know Black Mirror is kind of horror, but that's like more sci-fi horror. This is gonna be more kind of like classic American.
Well, and what's interesting,
horror.
but it's also like there's also a huge amount of lore that we already know for American Horror Story that we already have connections with. While Black Mirror, it kind of like you're watching the universe and worlds be created fresh from new eyes.
Totally. And it's gonna be cool, like if they go back to a hotel at a certain point, and
Which I mean, that what their trailer for it, they kind of like sneak peeked like what we're gonna get to.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's gonna be one for Freak Show. I think the pig guy, like
the pig man, the Chicago butcher guy.
Yeah, there's gonna be more of that. Yeah.
What's her name that I love in Hotel?
Lady Gaga?
No. The
what is her name? She's the bald.
yeah. What was her name? I want like another episode with her. God, what is her name?
There might be more. That'd be cool to get more of her.
Well, because we already
story,
have. But I was just kind of wondering if we would, because we already kind of have her whole backstory.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I don't even. If Hotel's pretty, like there's like they full circled that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also that
everyone.
One,
It's very complete. That's what I'm.
And it's also it's very deep. There's a really it's a heavy. There's a lot of lore just in with Hotel in itself.
Yeah,
because of the amount of spirits and because of how the hotel was built, and it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, and then the new season 10's coming out, and the big teaser is A Tale by the Sea and A Tale by the Sand. So we're. And it's weird if you guys have seen the trailer. They have a screenshot of like what one of the monsters is going to be in it, and it's a very Nosferatu looking kind of creature. So I don't know if they're going to go kind of back into some kind of vampire thing, because it
might be a siren.
Yeah, maybe.
Or it might be a mermaid.
A mermaid on land. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking mermaids, because like,
sirens, mermaids, maybe a succubus.
Yeah, and because I was like, I feel like for a nautical theme one, they got to do mermaids, because mermaids are terrifying.
Gosh, I didn't think about that till now.
Mermaids are like, like Ariel's cute and everything, but like mermaid lore, like mermaids are fucking
mermaids. Their whole thing is like
they drown you.
Is to pull a sailor underwater to where they drown.
Yeah,
and it's like, and they think it's fun.
It's like they're a beautiful woman on top to lure. It's a bait, like it's literally a lure, like to get you close to the edge. So I don't know. It's gonna be. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no. Actually, you kind of made me a little more excited for it.
And it's just like we were taking.
Well, bets. I mean, but I'm interesting because it's double feature, so there's two different stories,
but they're both happening in the same town, so they're gonna connect, right? They're gonna have to.
That's Ryan Murphy. Yeah, he's gonna make it connect somehow.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be. I'm very excited, and I really like that idea of like two separate stories. And I really, me and nautical shit. I'm really excited for like a nautical themed American Horror Story, and I really hope they lean into that really hard with like old sailor.
It's probably gonna be
stories.
Some lighthouse shit and whatnot.
Yeah, like good creepy lighthouse. Yeah, sign me up. I love that. Yeah, foggy and shit. Ooh.
I just hope they don't oversaturate it with too much.
It's American Horror Story, of course they are.
I know.
That's the fun in it, though. It's the It's the over the top ridiculousness that makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited, and we're getting that this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean in August.
Yeah, like it's coming out. And I can't believe I was just so unaware of this whole production.
I mean, 84 came out last year, didn't it? Yeah, it came out during pandemic, didn't it? During quarantine.
Yeah, because I think I watched it during quarantine.
Yeah. I mean, so it's been a year. A new season comes out every year.
Yeah, I forgot.
I mean, I think because of so much that happened in the world, like it kind of strangely has been like under the radar, kind of under wraps.
Well, I feel like a lot of like production teams and everything have just kept everything quiet, so they don't promise anything that they're not entirely sure they can fulfill on.
That's fair, yeah.
Especially
since a COVID-19 case just broke out on the set of American Horror Story,
and everything came to a screeching halt. It's like let's just get it done and then tell people when it's coming out.
Yeah,
like let's just do that.
Yeah. It's a hey, let's force a segue. Hey, Fear Street, now horror stuff, more horror.
And very like kind of similar to American Horror Story.
Yeah,
same cast playing different roles, and it's actually. I love how this. Well, let's go. Okay, what is Jacob? What is Fear Street?
It's a street that you fear.
Freddy?
No, okay. So Fear Street. Fear Street originated in the mid '90s, written, or I think late '80s as well. Written by just the '90s. I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm almost out of my head. Written by R.L. Stine, who, if you're not familiar with him, he's the famous author for the Goosebump books that we all loved and cherished as kids.
It sounded like you said Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
No, but it sounded like you said goose pumps.
Oh, goose pumps.
Yeah, like pumps.
like a pump, pumping a goose.
Well, I meant like the shoe, like a.
Oh, like those that type.
But they're like a goose. A geese, like the geese. Anyways, yeah, Goosebumps. Sorry. Moving right along.
Moosin. Sorry,
moose. Very much. Who is that again?
Brian Regan.
Yeah.
Right? So Goosebumps was written for like young children, like elementary, maybe like pre-teen-ish.
Yeah, tweeny.
Yeah. Well, Fear Street was more targeted for like teenagers, like young adult books, and there is like so. Kind of like how Goosebumps lives in like its own like kind of like universe of stuff and together. Fear Street as well as did, but it took place all in the town of Shadyside, and then there was also like Sunnyvale, which is the town next to Shadyside and whatnot. So Fear Street more kind of like there was like reoccurring characters throughout all of the books, but each book would like have a different. There would be like one that's more of a haunting story, one that's more of like a slasher story. So it was literally like R.L. Stine was like writing like young adult like horror movies or stories, and
did they ever do a show of Fear Street like they did with Goosebumps?
No,
this
is when I saw this promoted, my inner 10-year-old was just like started vibrating,
shaking with excitement.
Oh, yeah. Because Fear Street kind of like because Goosebumps, just picked up so much more, and Fear Street just kind of got left on the wayside in a weird way. But R.L. Stine kept writing a lot of Fear Street stuff because, like the whole story of like Sarah Fear in Fear Street is like the lore of the Fear Street books as well.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So like her past of like that whole thing being like accused as a witch and whatnot, that's all actual lore from the books. But then everything else in these movies is kind of like their own original idea of Shadyside and Sunnyvale.
That whole thing really made me think of Riverdale.
It's very leaning.
It's very Riverdale-y.
Yeah. Which, that's just kind of like, that's just what the, like, a young adult teen, like, these teen, like, aesthetic, I guess is the word I'm looking for, is, like, really leaned into now. Because it's very much, the one thing that's great about Riverdale is just, like, how over the top but aware this, like, the writing is, Like, it's very aware that it's like, oh, this is a commentary on being a teenager type thing, you know? And it's really, I haven't watched a lot of Riverdale, but a little bit that I have seen, I'm like, I know I could easily just fall into a rabbit hole of that show. Really? Oh yeah. So going back to Fear Street, do you want to talk a little bit about do you want to talk about a little bit what these three movies are? Just in like, I don't want to spoil anything if people haven't watched it.
No, we do kind of general. So it's a trilogy. It's a horror trilogy, very much like we were saying in the vein of like American Horror Story, in the sense that same actors, because the first one takes place in 94, and then this next one takes place in 70.
Oh, the second one's 74.
74. Oh, they're all
76. No,
70s.
I think it's 76. Or no, it's 78.
78. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 94, 78, and then all the way back to
1666.
And it's just this whole story about, this famous boogeyman, Sarah Fear, a witch that was hung for being a witch, and how she now haunts.
She haunts and she cursed this Shadyside. Like colony and whatnot.
And what her curse does is it makes a seemingly normal individual become a psychotic killer. So throughout the town's history, there have just been these mass murders. You know, there's the milkman, and he just lost it one day and killed his wife and a bunch of people. And then there's the camp counselor. Like, I think any horror movie ever trope, it's there's been a killer in this town of that. It's murder capital USA, basically. Yeah. And then we're just following these teenagers kind of trying to break the curse, I guess, basically.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, because Sam is her name. She gets cursed or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
They have to try to. It's like they want to figure out how to like save her from being murdered and all that stuff.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, kind of one of the coolest things that I think is going to be possible is that, so the director, Leigh Janiak.
I think it's Leigh Janiak.
Leigh Janiak.
Cool. Lee, yeah. We should have really looked up how to pronounce the name.
We should have. But the director of Fear Street did an interview, and basically they want to make...
This sounds Sci-Fi Wire.
Yeah, this is on Sci-Fi Wire. An MCU-style horrorverse inspired by R.L. Stine. So they want to make an entire franchise.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which would be really cool, and even with how it ended, it's like, oh, cool. It opened up to make it into... we could have this whole... like... I keep wanting, because of the books, like, I keep wanting to say, like, kind of like a teenager horror anthology kind of thing. But just so y'all know, this is incredibly violent.
It's like, incredibly, but yeah, it's incredibly violent, but so were the books.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's fitting. That's not like just like, let's umph it up a little bit.
Nope.
Oh, interesting.
No, this is very much like horror for teenagers.
Okay. Well, because then, like, to kind of like give an idea too, so the first one had a super Scream feel.
Yeah. So So the first one is very much slasher feel, 1994. The second one is like a Friday the 13th type of slasher feel.
Jason Voorhees, like a tank that just nonstop and coming after you.
Very on the nose. The kid's name is Tommy that gets possessed.
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with the Friday the 13th franchise, Tommy Jarvis is the one that kills Jason and then later becomes possessed by the spirit of Jason.
Yeah. So they leaned into that.
They leaned really hard into it.
And then the third one is a witch hunt.
Yeah, it's a witch hunt. It had a little bit of like a Midsummer thing feel to it. I think I like what did I write that I compared it like the Crucible as well. Let me find my note. And I was like, yeah, so it's like, just like how the Crucible was a metaphor for McCarthyism, 1666 is a metaphor for the form of the internet and how many voices create one voice and one conspiracy. Also known what happened with the QAnon stuff.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that really stood out to me in 1666 was like when all the townspeople are coming up and they're like sharing their point of view and how it's like slowly skewing everybody's like point of view.
It was
everything.
Cool. Heightened
hysteria.
Hysteria, thank you. Yeah, heightened hysteria, and the way it was shot was really good.
It literally, as I was like, this literally feels like just like a bunch, like if you're going down like an internet forum of like conspiracy and just like how it just like starts to unravel, and just like you feel like all of these like message boards are yelling at you or like I was like, wow, this is really such a great like metaphor for what the internet feels like today.
Yeah, and it also like the third one too is kind of a slow, like it took both of us like 2 or 3 tries.
Yeah, because the whole like colonial time thing, it takes a minute to build into it, but also like they do a really good job of leaning into like the whole idea of like the witch and really just kind of like the persecution of women and the exploring like sexuality and lesbianism and whatnot, and really I mean there's a lot of queer theory through the horror stuff in general. And I really like that they are actually really leaning into that in Fear Street as well, and really bringing a positive note to it, and like really just kind of like, I guess it's not hidden,
Yeah.
It's like it's very much like here it is, and this is why it, and like especially just like I don't want to say the persecution again, but like because in 1994 the two girls, they're in love, and like the mother of one of them, it just like won't have it.
Yeah.
So Hey, queer positivity is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. But so 1666 kind of is like two movies in its own.
Yeah.
Because like the first half of it is the story of Sarah Fier, and then you're finding out how she was not an actual witch and like actually set up and whatnot. I won't reveal too much, but like I mean, it's kind of like was leading like in a weird way to kind of like you to know that in a way. You know what I mean? Because you start seeing the narrative through Sarah Fier's eyes.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice
You know?
to do that. And like cast the same.
Oh yeah,
Like because you're going through like a vision. It was just interesting.
yeah.
I also just like I feel like I don't know. Like I think doing time period horror is a really risky thing a lot of the time because I feel like just subconsciously, it just makes you feel kind of removed.
Yeah, I mean, well,
If it goes too far back, I feel like
Yeah.
it makes it so like it gets rid of that this could happen kind of thing because it's just this already happened. I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it. The
Well,
scary is gone.
I mean, that's generally it's kind of more like when it gets into like that far, like when it's super like in the past or whatnot, it turns into generally more of a horror story, you know, or not a
Yeah.
horror story, a ghost story.
Ghost story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a horror story, of course, Jacob.
What did
That's
I-
what we're talking about, horror.
What did I not like until I had that realization that it was like, no, this isn't a horror story. It's a Bly Manor. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, because there was the haunting of
Hill House.
Hill House, and then the haunting of Bly Manor. Because when I was like, dude, it's a gothic ghost story. It's a love story.
Yeah.
It's a haunting story. Not a. It was a. I think I called it a gothic ghost story.
Yeah. And
As
then I was
opposed
like,
to
oh, that's a
The haunting of Hill House was more of like a. Scare you like the Conjuring.
Yeah. Yeah. That's So I guess like with like The Witch, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's more of a ghost story,
Possession
thing. I don't know.
The devil will get you.
I want to watch Hereditary again. Sorry, that's really random, but no, because I'm wondering because I went into that
When you
thinking,
dance with the devil don't change. The devil changes you.
drag of a cigarette.
I'm so cool. My name's Max California.
And my hair's blue. But yeah, I mean, the ratings for like IMDb and this are all like in the 6 point something or other. I mean,
Yeah. So
I've fun.
I've read a couple of things where someone was like, how like problematic or like how bad these Fear Street movies are and like how unrealistic and whatnot. But then I've also read like how, especially 1994, I saw one where like how it's the perfect slasher film.
It's great.
Like made recently.
Yeah.
Because of like how well it leans into like its own like awareness. Like it's like, I think you were saying you read something where it's like kind of like being donned as like the new Scream because of how it's like aware of its own universe and its rules and whatnot.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like anyone going into this expecting some like change of the genre kind of material, that's silly. That's not what it's trying.
No.
It's not even what it's attempting.
And that's
to do.
not even because like if you really going back to the source material, the whole thing that R.L. Stine was doing was he was taking these tropes, these ideas, the idea of the killer at the mall. It's like the slasher that then they just puts it into the mall type thing. You know, it's like it's it or the haunting of the dead person in the house. You know, it's like they're all of these tropes that he was just like, oh, well, I'm going to lean into this trope for this story, and you know, kind of like American Horror Story was doing.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, like it really like kind of. I didn't realize that we picked two kind of things that
Very
talk about
similar.
that are so similar.
Yeah.
It's just I'm laughing too because whenever I think of R.L. Stine, I just see Jack Black in my mind's eye.
Really?
Yeah,
I know. I actually know what R.L. Stine looks like.
Yeah, because he was in the intro to
Goosebumps. Well,
yeah.
the first couple of Goosebumps,
Yeah.
with his giant weird mole. He's a weird dude.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that Goosebumps movie with Jack Black's pretty great.
Oh yeah, there's a sequel, isn't there? There's two of them.
There's two of them. I never saw the sequel.
I don't. Is Jack Black in the second one?
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was Stephen King. Wish he could write like I could.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Those are actually just. I mean, the first. I really like that. It's like the world, the universe of the Goosebumps coming out of the book and becoming real in a reality and whatnot.
Yeah,
And also kind of a sad ending where it's like.
Yeah, it was weird. It was actually like emotional. I remember for like a solid year that Goosebumps movie was a comfort food for me.
Oh, really?
I would just like at the end of the night just put it on.
Yeah, it's easy to digest.
Yeah, it was just fun. It was that or Mad Max Fury Road.
That's not an easy to digest.
No, but those two movies are just like on a repeat at my house for a long time because I was like just really enjoyed them.
It's like, I'm a child. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, like
life or death in the desert. I need the water. Sorry,
what was that?
my impersonation of what Mad Max is.
He doesn't talk.
I know. No, not my impersonation of Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
It's like that's okay.
Of what it is.
Life and death in the desert. Give me the water.
I could barely understand what you said. I just heard, "Give me the water."
I was like thinking about like the guy like it's like metal guitar dude just like
dude, that movie's that movie's amazing. So shiny, so chrome. God, I love that movie. I mean, for any horror fan, I don't know. That's the thing. Horror fans, they're also in these weird like two different camps a lot of the time.
Hey, what do you mean?
There are like the purists. There are the horror people that
The elitists
that take it really like this isn't, and it's that idea of like this isn't the game. I don't know that. How do I word it? Because then there are people like kind of like we are that I feel like we're very much lean into the campy camp, and we enjoy it very much being on the nose and being a complete blatant ripoff.
Oh, yeah.
Like we have fun with that. We're like, oh, I see what you did there. His name's Tommy. Got it. Like we have a lot of fun in that. But I feel like also with horror, like a lot of time with horror, people put stuff on a pedestal, like, and I was definitely one of those people that wasn't scary. It's like, it doesn't have to be. It was fun. It was gory and stupid.
Well, what's interesting is like I feel like the farther we get along with this podcast, the more we're breaking down our elitist barriers and just trying to really enjoy everything in whatever capacity we can.
Yeah. I feel like we've definitely like
and also
loosened up
I'm
a
really
bit.
much about breaking down elitist fucking beliefs and ideas of like horror only exists like this, or like you can only play video games on hard,
yeah, that kind of shit,
because people just want to have fun.
They
just want to have fun.
They just want to have something to digest that, like, nostalgic even too. I don't know.
I mean, going back to months ago when we were talking about toxic fandom and just like the toxicity of things, of like just putting pressure on like it has to be this way. It's like, things can still be bad. Like there's definitely things that are just not inherently good art or whatever. Like The Room.
Nudge, nudge.
But there's, it's like Fear Street's fun. It knows what it is. It's well written. It kind of ends in a very like cheeky teenage story sort of way where it's what I'm saying.
Everything is better.
Everything's
now.
happy. Although it is really funny when like they get into Sunnyvale and Sunnyvale's just falling apart. Like I would love to see them really. I really wanted to just see like Armageddon happen, pretty much,
just
to Sunnyvale.
Just in Sunnyvale.
Yeah, like the rapture comes down and like an angel of death swoops down.
It's like that scene in the Truman Show, like with the rain.
Oh yeah,
like step into shit. No, step back. What is going on? But yeah, all in all, and I think the casting was really great. A lot of the characters and the kids, I guess, because they're all pretty young.
There was the one kid in 1994 he's kind of more like, I think he seemed more of a fluid of a guy. Boy.
The more fluid friend. Yeah.
And like I fucking loved him. He was so cool.
I liked him a lot. He was funny. And then just his and his like girl best friend's relationship was really, they had like really nice chemistry. They were like funny together.
Mm-hmm. It's like, it's interesting is like, cause like I'm trying to think if I could like, do you think you could rank your favorite ones in like, like which one was your which one was your favorite?
It went in order.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Once I finally got through 3, I was pleasantly surprised because it's a real slow burn.
Yeah, and also as I was trying to, I remembered I didn't. So it is kind of like two movies because it's 1666, and then you clearly need to have like a completion of 1994 because 1994 sets everything up, and these movies are all like they're 3 connected movies.
Yeah,
they can't really stand alone by themselves.
I mean,
actually,
like the first one could, but you're not going to get an ending.
Exactly. But that's also that it is, since it doesn't have like a complete arc, it doesn't stand on its own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
it leaves a cliffhanger.
The second one kind of can, as if you look at it as
No,
just
because
like
the second one ends with her traveling back in time with Sarah Fier's hand, and it ends with her in 1666 in the Vision.
Oh, is that how that ends?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that then.
Yeah. So literally, these three movies, they you could just put them all together and it'd be like one long 5.5 hour movie.
Well, I mean, the last one's 2 hours on its own.
Yeah. Which, going back again, sorry, it ends in 1994. So it's like two movies, 1666, and then it cuts and it's like 1994 Part 2.
Yeah.
So
it was, yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't order for me. What was yours? Was yours?
yeah,
favorite?
I mean, kind of.
Was your favorite one the second one?
I really liked the second one because I felt like the second one, I kind of liked how it played with the camp counselor.
That's what I
thing
figured
and whatnot,
you would really get into.
I really like Friday the 13th and all that stuff. But also, like, I don't know, Scream's like my favorite slasher of all time.
Yeah.
And 94 did such a great job of like.
Oh God, even that Skullface.
Yeah, dude.
I just clicked. I'm like,
Yeah.
Wow, they leaned into that real
Yeah,
hard.
exactly. That was a really fun thing. Is like even just like thinking about like all of the killers that are in 1994. I was like, yeah, you got the Skullface kid who's the slasher, high school kid. Tommy, which I really liked finding how like he got that like knapsack on his face.
Yeah.
Then like the girl Ruby Lane, that one, that's like man, I just
there was just some. I wish they had shown more of the other killers. Like my favorite one that didn't really get enough screen time, in my opinion, was the Milkman.
I mean, that's like the one that they kind of gave the most backstory on outside of like Tommy and maybe the Skull Boy. Yeah, if I remember correctly, they kind of talk. That's the one that they actually kind of like tells a little bit.
Yeah, but I just
about.
wanted more of him because his look was terrifying.
Well, I mean, the kid with the baseball bat, I would want to know more about that.
Oh, he reminded me of Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was the one with like the steel mask or whatever that was like drowning people in the lake.
Yeah,
that one was interesting.
Silent Hill.
Oh yeah,
super
nice.
Silent Hill look. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, you can go. Okay, so that's silent. Okay,
or like the inspiration, like the idea. Yeah.
You can go. Okay, that's probably like that. And it's one of those. Obviously, this is all just speculation, but it's just two on the.
Oh, that little kid when he had Trick or Treat. Also, Michael Myers. If you think about it.
Yeah, there you go with the mask, violent kid thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
very Michael Myers, but like before becoming a beast.
Well, yeah, when he was just a child killing his family.
Yeah, not when he was an adult killing his babysitters, or just babysitters. Yeah. I don't know. I mean.
Anything you're looking forward to with because if they're doing this as an MCU, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be. I would just like another horror universe to expand upon, because it's one of those. I think that this has potential to become really great.
Oh yeah.
I think this is like a good like start to the ball roll, and I think this was fun and everything, and I think could it be better? Sure, but I really enjoyed it, and I think that the more fans that get into it and the more money that gets put into it and just more time, I feel like you really could make a really cool like horror universe with this as being the backing for it.
I mean, I would definitely want this to be something that maybe has like, let's say maybe another trilogy, 2 more trilogies at most.
Yeah.
I don't want it to get oversaturated.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain, I don't know, at a certain point, things have to end.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the MCU, apparently that's just going to last forever.
I mean, and also like if it just ended with these 3, I'd be like, cool. I mean,
no, yeah, I would.
I'm going to watch them again.
Yeah, I mean, so a little bit of a spoiler for you guys. I mean, you kind of probably tell like this movie, the 1666 does end on a bit of just like a teaser cliffhanger of like something else could be afoot.
Yeah, like after the credits, MCU kind of post-credit scene thing. Yeah,
oh, the mid-credit, post-credit, mid-credit, post-credit, credit, pettit. Hit it. What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to have because I'm on this horror kick right now.
Yeah,
with my video games and everything too.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, horror TV show, great, awesome, great horror video games. Let's do it.
And we're gonna have fun around to October this year.
Yeah. A lot of stuff to talk about.
All right, I think we can probably be moving on to wrapping it up. We don't know what we're doing next week, do we? We need to figure that out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that out today. After this. But what?
My coworker and I last night were just literally just for a good 15 minutes. We're just responding to each other with penis. And I would just remember. Now I'm saying it. I was about to just go penis, and I was like, oh, you guys aren't in on the joke. Now you are. Penis.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for listening.
That's a good way to end it. The end of the episode, isn't it? Sorry.
Hey, if you can't make yourself laugh, what's the point?
That's true.
Anyway, so this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.